going to do a bonus video here. Now I got this comment from Samuel Whitmore, and he's making a joke here because I said I'd never make another video. Said I'd never make another video again unless this one gets 100 likes. Well, I didn't get 100 likes, and here I am making another video. I'm such a hypocrite. Anyway, he asked me on the Tezos video if I wouldn't mind taking a look at LTC, Neo, Gas, and Monero, and he knows he's being a bit cheeky asking for that's a bit much, and we only really look at one coin per video, but we'll see. You know, I don't think we'll get a look at all of them. But he's asking, but let's just read through his comment here because he wrote enough, and well, you know, let's stick the spotlight on somebody else instead of on me for just now. And I enjoyed reading the guy's comment as well, so thanks very much for leaving it. And I left it until we were making this video to put my feedback on there. So Litecoin seems to be a good one-year investment or so, and has the potential to be the next Bitcoin since it's huge at the moment. Implementations along with the hard coin they put out seems like a damn good idea. Plus the obvious other things like being a splinter of the original gangster Bitcoin split and such blah blah blah. The mainstream public is dumb. They will eat that up. XMR is fantastic for obvious reasons, and as it gets easier, it'll be king of the decentralized underground renegades, which I guess it already is to some degree. Decentralized currency is the start of return of a free market and a huge step in the right direction. As more people realize this, it's only a matter of time before it dominates fiat, especially after a crisis like this. It tends to be a kick in the ass eye opener for people fully invested in a hugely corrupt and doomed to fail regulated currency. If it wasn't for crypto, the precious metals prices would probably be double, in my opinion. That's an interesting. Not to say that the rest of your stuff isn't interesting, mate, but that was particularly. I thought that was an interesting comment. I wonder about that. But hey, I'm just some dummy in the middle of nowhere with a keyboard. Sure, aren't we all? Thanks very much. I just happen to have a microphone and a camera too. I am new to this. Well, I'm not so much new, but we're all just babies yet, aren't we? Either way, don't be nice, be blunt. Oh shit, sorry, should have been blunt. You're a drongo. PC doesn't apply to me, I'm not sensitive, I crave facts. Thank you for your videos, being wanting to do that for blah blah blah. Oh, actually, wait, if you've been wanting to do videos forever, mate, then just jump on ahead. I appreciate it. Let me know if you make a channel, all the good stuff, and I'll give you a like sometime. So anyway, what are the interesting things from this? Like you said, I wanted to think about this here precious metals idea. Would they be double or not? And I kind of think that, you know, it's an interesting one. The market cap of the cryptocurrencies, while it seems so huge to us as small fish, is actually still tiny in comparison to gold, you know. So market, I wonder if Google's going to help here. Market cap gold, 9 trillion. Market cap Bitcoin, could it work? Damn it, I'm going to have to do the trading market cap 127. Whew. Phew. 127 billion, right? That's what that is. So some ways off there. I don't think you could say that. Anyway, we don't rely on my ability to interpret digits with more than 6 or 9 or 12 in them. But the numbers are quite way off. I don't think the precious metals would be double, but it does give people an opportunity to trade. You know, and activities in terms of trading and the modern world that we're in, and maybe there would be a significantly more trading activity from the likes of you and I in terms of Forex and stuff like that if it wasn't for these. I wonder if it's fair to say that. I don't think so. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree, but I think that was an interesting thing to be said. Good bit of chat there. What do I think about Litecoin? Well, I've spoken about Litecoin quite a bit recently overall. Check out the bonus videos for that, and I do them from time to time. What do I think about Litecoin though, just in general, is that I think that Charlie was sneaky with his. Well, you think you're sneaky. He was sneaky with the way that he ditched his coins and left people in the lurch a wee bit. That was kind of funny, and the way he crashed the market essentially back in the day there. And I think that there's that while you're right that some elements of it are a little bit more open to manipulation, than with Bitcoin itself, as we saw there, and as you see in things like Bitcoin Cash and stuff like that. But I do have this. I'm talking about the precious metals thing. You know, there is that concept of like Bitcoin kind of being digital gold, and I do think it resonates with people that, you know, perhaps Bitcoin. I've got to get off this screen; it's too white behind me for now. Bitcoin does kind of want to have a counterpart like, you know, silver, to and that when the guys with Bitcoin Cash decided to call it Cash, I think that they kind of missed an opportunity there to sort of try and capitalize. I mean, who wants cash? We all know that the sort of the term cash is to do with like sort of money, you know, like fiat or whatever, and we all hate that nowadays. And anyway, I don't know, I just thought it was kind of a bit like, if you wanted to be perceived as being the Bitcoin silver, that's maybe what Litecoin are going for. And Bitcoin Cash, I thought maybe that, I don't know, just when they used the word cash, it just made me think, when I first heard of it, I thought at the time, well, I suppose they could hardly call it Bitcoin bronze, could they? And Bitcoin, you know, I don't know. Anyway, what do I think of it? I think that that ultimately none of these things really have a use case when you boil it down and just say that Bitcoin could do it all. But that makes me into some sort of Bitcoin maximalist, and I'm not really that. I do think that it does resonate with people, this concept of sort of having a silver to the gold type thing, and that Litecoin could be that. I do think there are some sorts of benefits in there, but mostly how I kind of feel about these things is that they're like little test cases for things that get adopted into the Bitcoin chain down the line. Things like Segwit or whatever, that came around at the start of Litecoin, did it not? And it was part of when they split, and you know, that's part of the main Bitcoin core now as well. And you see things, I think, like coins like Grin and stuff like that, they kind of go out there and I feel like that they're like that they're sort of test cases for whatchamacallums, stuff that they're going to adopt into the Bitcoin core anyway down the line, and it's quite hard to escape that sort of as being independent, you know, and to maintain that if people in the world ultimately were to become Bitcoin maximalists. But like I say, I think that the idea of a silver does resonate with people. I don't think that really on aggregate that will actually necessarily happen. I think people would always like to have that. So I don't know what I think of them. I don't know. I think they're interesting coins. They're all good. Small interruption there, sorry. I think that Litecoin is a textbooky type one. So let's stick Litecoin on just real quick then and have a look. Here's Litecoin versus Bitcoin actually as it happens. And what we've got recently is we dropped right down to the 21 EMA. And like I say, it's a bit more textbooky. You know, we came right up to the 236, hit off of that, came down to the 21 EMA, and you just feel like when you look at these things like, oh, we just had this death cross. Oh, the price just went down a wee bit. Oh, that Litecoin has that element to it. Is good, you know, or whatever. I think that people who are getting into trading cryptocurrency should probably look at it. At least recently, it's had more sort of, you know, and it sticks within its ascending, descending triangles just that little bit more. I don't know. It's just been a little bit just recently. Sorry, because this is obviously could change. And you know, you look at this and you think to yourself, well, if we go past the 21 EMA, maybe we will go down here towards this 582,280 level yet again. And it feels like, you know, anyway, it's an interesting one for charting. Have a look over here at Litecoin versus USD prices. You know, this is what's kind of meaning about being a little bit more regimented in terms of how it forms. You know, it came along here, like, oh, we're going to break through or not. Oh, we broke through. You know, oh, how classic. Oh, we're right down here at the 21. I feel like that this one, you know, we came right up. We touched right off the 382 exactly where the 55 EMA was coming in at. I mean, like, so what do I think about this coin here? I think that it sometimes is a lot kind of clearer than you have something like this, which is Ethereum, and is obviously quite a messy chart, but you've got like different dynamics on the go here. You don't have the death cross quite yet there on that one, and we've had to find this area ourselves at 155 as being like where that happened to come in at, or Bitcoin. You know, where Bitcoin, of course, like I was saying, is still the daddy of them all and all the rest of it. And you do have similar aspects here, like with 21 in there and stuff like that. But I feel like when you're looking at those charts versus looking at something like this, like, you know, this just seems, like I was saying, more textbooky. So I don't know, maybe you can see that too. I like it in that front. Anyway, that doesn't really constitute technical analysis, but hey, look, while we're at it, if this doesn't hold, then we could be going back into this box here. $40 would be quite crucial. Let's take a look at 42.40 as being our sort of 42.42, let's call it just for the crack, shall we, as being our sort of our current sort of pivot point here. And I think, could we see some overall upward here? Well, again, let's look towards Bitcoin and stuff for the overall moves in the market. If we see it coming down below 40, then you know, let's anticipate 39 yet again, and question that, because 40s where the previous lows were at, so we'd be making lower lows, and we'd have to sort of take a second look at it. Otherwise, let's take a look and see how it handles the 382, the 55 moving average, the 50 simple moving average, and how textbook land continues. What was the other coins that you said there, though? You also said two other coins on the comment. Neo, or we'll skip Neo and we'll skip gas for now, unless you meant Neo gas specifically. I wonder. So you meant the maybe meant Neo's gas as opposed to Neo, or Neo and Neo. I don't know. Let me know. And Monero. Let's take a look at Monero, because we have looked at that in the past on the channel, and I agree with you. Monero is like, if Litecoin wants to be the silver of do I not have it on their favorites? If Litecoin wants to be the silver to Bitcoin, then Monero wants to be kind of like the cash to Bitcoin in a way. This is what Bitcoin Cash, I think, is funny as well. It's like it wants to be the sort of the untraceable element. Like, you know, if I give you a $20 note, you can give it to somebody else. Nobody knows where that $20 note could have come from. It could have come from, you know, it could have come from Donald Trump's own wallet, or it could have come from, from the bank being fresh. Doesn't really matter. Nobody knows. Nobody cares either. And that Monero's got that marketing, that branding done for it. I feel like it's quite good, that gangster element of it. Obviously, I don't have it on my favorites. Let's just look it up here and get the job done. So let's look at XMR versus USD, shall we? And this will do us for the bonus video. How long has it gone on for? It's probably going to end up being more than 10 minutes. Oh, so we've had the same sort of chat as, obviously, like, you know, all of these markets being so operating hand in hand. There's so many similarities here, but look, you can see then that when we broke above the 236 on this Fibonacci retracement we've had drawn in here. I mean, I don't know when the last time we looked at it was. Could look at my video history, I suppose. We came up and we found that the 21 operated as a bit of resistance for us. Then we broke above it, came back down, retested, came underneath it, came up, retested, broke up above it again, and the next area that had any sort of question marks about it was in it as 382. So, like, you know, the sort of brief introduction to technical analysis, I suppose, in reverse here, baptism of fire if you've never done any before. But then, you know, we've got the 55 EMA in here, and we've got the 50 simple just right down where the prices have just come below it currently, and the death crossed there recently, and it came up and it tested off the 200 simple, and now we're back down here. So of course we're going to be looking to see whether or not we can maintain this upward movement here, and if the 382 is going to be crucial for us. If we go up towards the 50% at $61 and come back down towards the 382 here, we'll know that that is actually a 236 retracement. If the things happen right now, going body to body, just, oops, sorry, real quick with a Fibonacci, just for the crack here, if I could get one. Body to body here, you know, so like again the 382, like, you know, from before, we're speaking about here, if it goes body to body on this same Fibonacci, if you come down below the 382, you're coming down below the 236 on the body to body Fibonacci thing here. So $53, $52.50 is something to be looking out for there, for sure, in terms of, you know, support. Of course, if we go down there and touch the 21 at $52 flat and don't find any sort of turnaround point at that point, we could be coming down looking here at $50 potentially, and although this percentage wise it's stacking up fairly quickly as I look down the way, you know, you could even be looking down as far as $42 thereafter, should that be the case. And if you do, you're breaking past lower lows previously. I mean, this is really our previous high here, this is really our previous low here at 44. Anything down to 44 is a higher low. Do we have sort of things coming in here which could operate as in terms of risk management zones and giving us those entries and exits and everything else? Well, you certainly do. It's 382.53, the 21 at 52.11, and up here towards the top side you got your $60, and it really depends on how greedy you want to be if you're actually trading this thing. But in terms of thinking about stuff just in general in the world of crypto, I think that there's always going to be a place for people who want to be leading the sort of the technology, or trying to invest their efforts towards a sort of a goal, their paradigm being sort of transparent, or not transparency, but obfuscation essentially, and trying to keep things as anonymous as possible. And there will probably always be a really strong demand for that, and that and having that as your sort of core tenant does give you a sort of USP, I suppose. I like it. Do I think that I think that it's potentially open to a little bit more volatility. It's hard to say that when you're looking at the markets in general, but I do think it's potentially got a little bit more volatility on there, and it's a little bit harder in a way to chart compared to something like Litecoin, for instance. Back during this downward period here, it's kind of you know, it's really quite hard to say where you thought the lows were really going to come in at. Ultimately, then we went on lower. If you look back over to the left, you can see that the prices where they are currently are back down below, you know, 2017 prices. You know, and comparing that to Bitcoin and stuff like that, you've got like this aspect of Monero, sadly or goodly or whatever, where you've come back down to prices that are below moved further down the way than Bitcoins have since its previous all-time high. You know, it's not made all-time lows, but it's come, you know, while Bitcoin stopped over here at the equivalent price in terms of Monero at $60 back here in December, we saw the prices actually come all the way down to $25 here. So there's elements there in terms of what do I think about it. Well, you know, there's more maybe risk, and potentially therefore more reward. I mean, looking at the upside here since this trend began, you're looking at 129% towards the upside. Do the same thing over here on the Bitcoin prices, and you're looking at 91%. So, you know, risk reward, all that pays out very much. Anyway, so thank you so much for your question, Samuel. I don't think I'll be able to actually honor anybody else's quite as an extensive video as this one. So, you know, if you want me to do something like this in the future, then I'm going to keep trying to do this as long as possible, despite the fact that I expect to have 1 billion subscribers soon and not really feasibly be able to do it. But yeah, just like make it a bit easier on me next time. He's right, you're a sneaky bastard. See you next time. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers.